switch gears. Let's go to Thursday Night Football. Packers versus Lions. Another trash Thursday Night Football matchup. Unfortunately, I thought this was going to be a good game. Well, I was wrong. I have one word. Trenches.
Aiden Hutchinson was giving y'all the business.
Trenches. You're not going to win games if your trenches is not solidified. The Packers' trenches, offensively speaking, because I think defensively, I think it's scheme. But offensively speaking, because you're missing your top two offensive linemen, Bakhtiari, listen, you had a good career. It's time to go be a family man because it's clear as day your knee is cooked, my brother. Go be a family man. Elton Jenkins, he's another guy that keeps getting injured, but hopefully after the bye he'll come back. But the trenches, the offensive line was not good at all. Hasn't been good this entire season. Pass blocking has been okay, but run blocking, horrible. Absolutely atrocious. These guys don't know what they're doing when we're calling a run play. A.J. Dillon, it's time for you to go. Can you outrun Zeke? Like, seriously, I want to see a 40-yard dash between A.J. Dillon and Zeke and see who wins because I don't think A.J. Dillon's faster than Zeke, and we already know Zeke, he is slow as a snail.
Yes.
So A.J. Dillon, like his vision when he's like, determining where he wants to go is just awful. Like he doesn't have no vision at all. It's just bad. But at the same time, the offensive line needs to do a better job run blocking because it was bad. We couldn't run the ball at all. Like it was so terrible. And Jordan Love, I will say this about Jordan Love: it wasn't all his fault, but he didn't play well. And I see a trend with Jordan Love that started in the preseason. One of his deficiencies is that for whatever reason, he is inaccurate when throwing in the middle of the field. When it's like 20-plus yards in the middle of the field, like there's something about the middle of the field that I don't know. Like he just doesn't know how to accurately throw to his receivers. Like
it might be a culmination of things. So usually when it's like routes over the middle of the field, you kind of have to be in sync with your guys, or you have to be able to anticipate when the receiver's going to be in the spot he's supposed to be. So it's either communication issue, he can't anticipate and make the throw.
Mm-hmm.
It is maybe some other stuff, but yeah, that's mostly it.
I will say though, there has been some miscommunication issues because they're young. Right. We have a lot of young receivers. Jaden Reed's a rookie. Christian Watson, second year. And Detroit Lions game, that was his first game. Romeo Doubs, second year. Luke Musgrave, first year. So we have a bunch of guys that are young, that haven't played much, second year. So it could definitely be a problem. And also Jordan Love, this is his first full year starting. So there's a lot of communication going around. And I believe Romeo Doubs, remember, it was like they were getting to the red zone area, and Jordan Love, I think he underthrew to Romeo Doubs and got picked. I was on Twitter, and I was watching somebody break down the play, whatever. And see, before I get to that, Twitter can be a great source of information when it's given to the right people. But when it's not given to the right people who just want to do hot takes and stuff like that, then that's when it becomes problematic. But the side of Twitter that I like is when the people are breaking down film, all 22. And this guy was talking about how Romeo Doubs, and also Matt LaFleur also alluded to this as well post-game, is that Romeo Doubs, I think he did something wrong on that route, and that's why it looks awful. And there were some other things that happened during the game where guys were not doing their assignment right. So it's a bunch of young guys on the offensive line, the receiver position, and it's a lot of miscommunication. You see all those flags. That's what's really happening. And then Jordan Love, you cannot make that throw in the middle of the field. The linebacker's right there. Come on now. I get it. You don't want to overthink. You're going off instinct. But at the same time, the linebacker's right there. You have to be a lot smarter. You can't do that throw. Like he just play action, throw it. Come on, man. Like seriously? So that was really some of the things that the criticisms I had with the game. It's going to be a lot of growing pains with this team. But I still think they're going to win 10 games. I still think they're going to be talented enough when they get healthy. And thank God we have a bye week 5. Thank God. And thank God we're playing on Monday night. So we have 10 days to recover, to look at the tape, and to examine what we did wrong. And by all means, we have the Raiders next. Thank God. So, yeah. What was your reaction to the game?
I was expecting a decent game at least. I was like, okay, it's an NFC North matchup. The Green Bay, they've been competitive so far. Then the score was like 21 to like 3 in like the first quarter. I was like, oh, it's one of these signature Thursday night trash bowls. But man, I was so disappointed, man. And the worst thing about it, the person I play in fantasy has David Montgomery, who has 34 points. This is just all bad. It was a terrible night for me. But as far as the product on the field, I mean, I really wanted to really get in and analyze and use the all 22 camera view on the Prime Video, but it was just a slaughter. It was a slaughter. I can't even enjoy the X's and O's properly because they're getting blown out. But I did wanted to see something from Jordan Love, and I wanted to see how he faced adversity. And he didn't shrivel up into a ball. He actually came back, made some good throws, put points on the board, had a pretty respectable second half performance. Granted, they still ended up falling short. The defense couldn't stop the Lions at all, and they still ended up losing. But the Lions got to give the Lions their props. Their defensive line really was putting pain on the Packers. Granted, I think pretty sure y'all had injuries on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Bakhtiari never plays.
Mm-hmm.
And also, but that Aiden Hutchinson, he's a dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he is a dude. Like, the Jags should be kicking themselves in the butt for drafting Trayvon Walker over him, which I still never understood why they did. But, yeah, man, Aiden Hutchinson's a dude. Brian Branch is a dude.
Oh, yeah.
That dude is a goon out there. I don't know. I don't even know how he failed. He was like a consensus first-round talent, but he just failed all of a sudden.
You know how these like when it comes to safeties, they like to nitpick and stuff. Like certain things, it may have been coverage-wise, they thought he wasn't good or something.
He was a slot corner too, though.
Yeah, well, you know how these people are. You know how these GMs and scouts are when it comes to certain like safeties. They do that a lot. I don't know what it is about Alabama safeties, but sometimes they pick them apart. Like Eddie Jackson went in the 5th round. Landon Collins went in like the 2nd round or whatever. They just for whatever reason, Alabama safeties they tend to slide a little bit in the draft unless you're like Minka Fitzpatrick, who's consensus like top DB or something like that. But
yeah, Brian Branch is a dude. I'm still the whole Jahmyr Gibbs stuff. He's getting 5. He averaged 5 yards a carry, and they still was like, we're going to roll with Montgomery, which in that situation I can understand because it's winning the game. You're up big. You really don't want to put your 12th overall luxury pick in jeopardy in a game where you're pretty much blowing out the opponent. But I still got to see him because, like, he'll be out there. He'll get snaps. Like, he'll line up at wide receiver. He'll line up in the slot, or he'll come out the backfield and do stuff. But I still need to see, like, it's like he's just getting cardio at that point because Jared Goff isn't throwing him the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He's throwing it to everybody else. But, yeah, Amon-Ra, he's likes that. Even though, actually, I don't know if he was in the slot that one play. I think he ran like a up and out.
Yeah,
or
like
something like that.
Odell. Remember when Odell did that in the end zone that one game?
I don't know if he was in the slot that rep though, but hey, yeah, man, the Lions they definitely put on good performance.
They made a statement.
Yeah.
That was a statement win. I will say this. I want to speak on the defense. So, first of all, that play to Amon-Ra St. Brown he talked about, that was on Rasul Douglas because Rasul Douglas, he was guarding a certain area, and he was trying to take a gamble. He thought that, I'm going to try to trick Goff into throwing into this area or whatever. And Goff, he saw it, and he was like, I ain't going to bite for that. And guess what happened? Double move. Amon-Ra was open. Rasul Douglas slipped, and boom. Pretty much touchdown. And that was one of the things that just alarmed me. Like, dude, come on now. Like, dude, you cannot do this against this team. And another thing, Joe Barry. This is another thing I like about Twitter because they showed just how stupid Joe Barry's scheme is. So you get to the red zone area, right? I think the Lions may have, done hurry up. And our personnel didn't match what the Lions were trying to do, which is they're trying to run the ball. But we're in nickel. We don't have a whole lot of – I think it was Lucas Van Ness. We didn't have him in there. We didn't have Rashawn Gary. We didn't have our guys. We didn't have our meat and potatoes. We had a bunch of DBs. We were in nickel, and they were just running whatever they wanted. And that's how they were able to – they just kept doing it over again. This is why I think it's more scheme than it is personnel when it comes to why the Packers can't stop the run. Because we're drafting guys that are on the D-line. We're drafting guys in the front 7, first-round picks, and yet we're still bad in the run. But we can get sacks. We can get pressures. That's how it lets me know that when it comes to stopping the run, that has to do, yes, effort is a part of it, but also scheme, also putting the right personnel in the game. And this dude, Joe Barry, doesn't know what he's doing. And the thing is, I always hear, if Joe Barry was probably talking to me, he'd be like, well, what should we do? I don't know. I'm not a coach. But you don't know what you're doing, just like I don't know. You're just like me. But you're the coach. You're getting paid millions. He keeps making the same mistake over and over again. And Matt LaFleur, listen, he talking about in the post game, I'm tired of we keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting it to work. Well, you're the one that hired him.
So I'm looking at this play right here. I'm going to show you the picture in a second here. But if I'm looking at the formation, simple math tells you that this is just off. So the Lions, it's goal line. They're at about the 3-yard line on your own note. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the Lions have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dudes ready to block.
Mm-hmm.
And they're in single back.
Mm-hmm.
Guess how many down linemen the Packers have?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I saw that. That was bad. It was really bad. Joe Barry is awful. They need to fire him. This stretch right here, these next 4 games, if the defense doesn't improve, he needs to go. It's a wrap. I guarantee you, whatever other person that's on the coaching staff will do a better job than Joe Barry. He is terrible. I don't understand. Anybody that's on the Washington coaching staff, why would you hire them?
Players wouldn't do that.
And offensive line, there was another play, right? And it was the offensive line, and they were blocking, and nobody was moving on the defensive line. They were not moving any of the defensive line people at all for the Detroit Lions. The defensive linemen in the Detroit Lions, they were standing still like they were sumo wrestlers, and they were doing whatever they wanted. It was like little boys against grown men. That's how bad it was. And, again, it's just trenches. We talked about Colorado versus Oregon and how it was going to come down in the trenches, and I was right. Same thing was applied with this game. And my closing just closing this out, and then we'll transition to the picks. Jordan Love, the jury is still out, but what I will say is that Aaron Rodgers, his first year starting, threw for 28 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 4,000 yards, 63% completion percentage, and the team went 6-10. If Jordan Love can replicate that, but have his team actually with a winning record, that's a win. But see, we're in the era, social media era, where they're going to pick everything apart.
Right.
So I think if Jordan Love can replicate what Aaron Rodgers did his first year, that's a win. He's young. This is his first year. Receivers. Also, the receivers were getting locked up to that game. He had to make some throws where in tight coverage. And that's been the case this entire year. So he's having to overcome a lot. So it's not going to be easy for him. But at the same time, he still needs to improve in certain areas. All right. Anything else you want to say?
Nope.
All right.